Hello, gorgeous human. Welcome to today's episode of the podcast. I'm so excited to have you on today's episode. And that is because this is our very first video episode. So if you are watching this on YouTube, welcome. Because finally, I'm so glad that we are able to have here the video one so that we can reach you both on audio and on video. And today, I want to see this not just as the first video episode, but I want to see this as the first episode of the podcast. So I'm kind of like trying to redo it at this stage and reach you in the form of video or in the video format, rather. So if you're new to my world, I'm Sonita Nkenne, and I have been doing this podcast for a little while now. And recently, I just felt the leading to start doing the video episode, which is why I have this episode today. And in this episode today, we are going to talk about a little bit about my story, why I have this podcast in the first place, and how this is actually going to help you to change your life. So, if you're new to my world, a few years ago, precisely in 2019, I left a very abusive relationship. And when I left that relationship, it felt like my life like crashed to the ground. Because up to that point, that relationship was all that I had built my life around. My sense of worth, my sense of existence, and my good enoughness or worthiness as a human came from that relationship. I had put so much effort and so much time and had invested so much in this relationship that everything in my life depended on that relationship. So when I decided to finally leave that relationship because it was so abusive, my life came crashing to the ground and I was left with nothing. And few months after leaving the relationship, I found myself pregnant. And when I realized I was pregnant, at this point in time, I was really going through the darkest phase of my life, as I can say, because I was literally at this point where I was still trying to navigate what had happened, like all my life being built on this relationship crashing down. And now I found myself pregnant, and that was so unexpected. I didn't have resources for that. I had just lost everything, including my business, as a result of leaving that relationship. So my life was really to the ground. And I remember having my son in the most challenging conditions that you can ever think of. And on the 24th of December, 2019, which is actually my birthday and the day before Christmas, we were kicked out of our one bedroom where I was living with my son because I couldn't afford to pay the rent for that place, as I was actually begging a friend to live there. When we were kicked out of the house in that moment, while everybody was celebrating, I want you to just imagine it. It's Christmas Eve, everybody is celebrating, the lights are shining everywhere, the songs are singing. And more to that, it's actually my birthday. I should be celebrating, but then the landlord is at the door like, I've had enough, and I'm kicked out of the house with my son. And in that moment, holding my baby, I looked at him in the eyes and I felt like I was good for nothing. I felt so useless. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I wasn't a good enough mom. Wasn't a good enough parent. Because if I was, I should have been able to provide for my son and to choose a better man, or to make better decisions. Or I should have been able to at least work to provide for him shelter, which is like the basic need. But I wasn't able. So I felt like I wasn't good enough. And if I was good enough, my family would have abandoned me. If I was good enough, my son's dad wouldn't have told me that if I can't take him with other women, I can as well leave. If I was good enough for anything at all, I should have a place to stay with my son. So in that moment, I looked at my son in the eyes. I don't know where the courage and the strength came from. And I told him that I'm going to give him the best life. And I made a promise to him that I'm going to change my life and I'm going to give you the life that you deserve, because you don't deserve this. You deserve to have a place to stay. You deserve to be celebrating like other kids or other babies, because that was his first Christmas. And when I actually said that to my son, I just went down on my knees and made a prayer to God. And I said, God, right now, I'm just, please, asking you for one thing. If you can help me change my life, if you can help me transform my life right now, if you can help me to change this, go from this lack, this poverty, this brokenness, this pain that I'm feeling right now, if you just can help me to change, and if my life is changed, I'm going to spend my entire life helping other people to do the same. I made that prayer and I went on to live with my friend's mom. And a few days after, I was just searching for stay-at-home moms jobs online. And that is how I came across the coaching industry. There was this lady who was a guest blogger on a blog, and she was talking about she makes $100,000 a year being a coach. And I was like, what the heck is that? Because truth is, at this time, I am in Africa. That is where I am from. I'm Cameroonian. So in Cameroon, where I live and where I was homeless and all the things, there's nothing like coaching. And if you know, if you're an African like me, you know that this is true. Like, it's not really a known field. So it was very strange to me. And I tried to search more and learn more about this field. And that's when I realized, oh my God, I've actually been a coach all this while. I'm so good at giving people advice. People always come to me and ask me like, oh my God, how can you do this? How can I do this? I've always been this person that people come to for advice. So literally I could turn this into like a business. And I was like, oh, okay, great. So from that, I followed the lady and started listening to her podcast. And one day, one of her mentors said something on the podcast that literally changed my life. She said, every result that you are seeing in your life right now, every result that you have, meaning the lack, the pain, anything that you are experiencing in your life right now, you have manifested it. You have created it. For the first time in my life, I was like, wait, does this mean that I have manifested or I have created this pain? I've created this lack. I've created this stress. I've created being poor. Does this mean that I have created this? And the answer was yes. So when I realized that, I was like, okay, if what this lady is saying, that I have created this, I've manifested this into my reality, it means that I can also manifest something good. I can also create a new reality for myself. So I was like, okay, how then can I manifest what I desire? How then can I create a new reality for myself that is beyond what I am experiencing right now? Because up to this point in my life, I have always felt like I was a victim to circumstances. I had so many excuses as to why I couldn't do, or have what I really desired. Like you, I was like, the reason why my life is so broken and frustrated right now is because of my ex. He destroyed me. He hurt me. He cheated on me. He did this. And all the time I was putting the blame on someone outside of me just so that I couldn't take responsibility for what I was creating in my life. I was like, the reason why I don't have a job, the reason why I don't have a place to stay, the reason why I'm broke right now is because of my country. I live in a third world country. I can't make it because there are no jobs. So I blame the government. Up to that point, the government was the reason why the youth don't have jobs. And up to that point, my family, my past, my trauma, what I went through, how I was treated was the reason why I had not succeeded. Little did I know that I was giving my power away to circumstances to actually determine what I could do. What I was saying is that I can't do, and I can't have what I truly desire in this lifetime because of other people. And how many of you are doing that right now? You're like, I can't get this. I can't create this because of this. And when she said that you are the one creating your reality, I was like, okay, I'm going to create a new reality for myself. So I went on a whole journey of reinventing myself, taking back my power from everything I had given it away to, from the victim that I was thinking that I was, from my ex, from my country, from my skin of tone or whatever, from anything that I was blaming as a reason why I couldn't be the limitless version of myself. In that moment, I decided I'm going to take back my power. No longer am I going to let anyone else determine what I feel, what I think, and how my results are going to be. I am going to create a new version of myself. So I went on that journey, and it took a lot of self-leadership, a lot of inner work, and a lot of trusting in myself to change my life. I gave myself a 30-day challenge. I'm going to change my life in 30 days. And in those 30 days, there were practices I did every day and action I took every day. And on the 20th day of that challenge, I had made $9,500. Now, this is from Africa with 3G internet connection, living in a tiny little town as a single mom in a one bedroom with 7 other people with English as my second language. Had I just changed my life? I asked myself in that moment. And trust me, I was like, oh my God, yes, I did. And I was so excited. Quickly, I grew. And the first year in business, I made 6 figures. Yes, in Africa. And to some of you, that may not be a lot. That may seem a little bit small. But trust me, for someone who grew up in Africa, for someone who grew up in a village where there are no cars, for someone who grew up in a household where there's no electricity, for someone who nobody in her family literally makes like $500 a month, that blew my mind. That was a level of wealth. That was a level of abundance I could only think or dream of. Going from literally being homeless to making $9,500 in less than 30 days to making 6 figures in my first year in business. And then the next year, making multiple 6 figures. And before I noticed, I was making $50,000 in a day in Africa still. Blew my mind. So I'm sharing this with you, not to impress you. I'm sharing this with you to impress on you. Because as you know, I believe that you can do, have anything that you desire. The only thing stopping you is the thing that you are thinking is stopping you. Because nothing is actually stopping you. And the moment you take away your power from anything that you think is holding you back right now, you're going to change your life. But you're not going to change your life until you decide that you are ready for it. And this is why I've started this podcast. It is for those who know that they are ready, not just to change their life, but to attain the level of success that is beyond their wildest imagination. For those of you who have even started, you've attained a level of success, but you know you are made for more. You are meant to do bigger things, and you are meant to achieve beyond what you have really been allowing yourself to achieve. Because the truth is, you're an infinite being. There's no limit to what you can be. There's no limit to what you can do. And there's no limit to what you can have. You are a limitless you. But then, it is your decision. You decide. You get to decide what you are open for. I have not just applied the principles that I used in those 30 days to change my life once. I've used it over and over and over and over again to reinvent myself. And right now, as I speak with you, I live in Dubai. I only used to dream of this when I was a kid. And I can tell you that I live in what I can say is my version of the rich and complete life. Not a wealthy life looking on the outside, but a rich life in terms of how it feels, the embodiment of it and the experience of it. And a complete life because there's no part of me that no longer feels like I'm broken in any way. I am whole. And that is my desire for you. So I started this podcast for you to change your life. So what are you desiring to create right now? What is your strongest desire? Maybe you want to have a higher paying job. Maybe you want to start that company, or maybe you want to take your company beyond the 6-figure to the 7-figure to the 8-figure, whatever it is. The power is in you. And you can totally be that. So there are a few things that I did to change my life. And along this journey, there were challenges that I faced. And one of the biggest challenges that I faced was not having evidence or not seeing someone do what I did so that I could believe. Because one thing about belief is that at times you need to have someone who has done what you are trying to do in order to anchor your belief on, so that you can prove to your brain that there's evidence that what you desire to create exists. But when you're in the space where there's no evidence, what happens is that you need to lead yourself and you become the evidence you're looking for. And because I face this challenge, my coaches, my mentor will be like, okay, I am doing this. I'll be like, yeah, you're doing it from Canada. You're doing it from the US. You're doing it from Australia. But man, I'm doing it from Africa. It's different. I'm a single mom. And I'm doing this I have 3G internet connections. There are days I'll wake up, I have no electricity. But some of y'all will not understand these challenges. So because of that, I didn't have someone I could really say, because she has done it from here, I can do it. And for some of you, I'm sharing this to show you that there's evidence that you can do it. The only reason that you think that you can be that thing that you've been desiring to become is because you think that there's something that is stopping you. And most of the time, the thing that you think is stopping you is something on the outside of you. But nothing is really stopping you. The problem is that you have given away your power to circumstances. You've given your power away to places. You've given your power away to people. And you've allowed that these people should decide what you are worthy of and what you can create in your life. And then you sit back down and you behave as though you're powerless, when in reality, you are the one who have given your power away to them. So whatsoever valid reason you have, that is why you can not create what you think you desire right now. I want you to question it. Like, why do I think I can't earn $20,000 a month? Why do I think I can't manifest $1 million mansion? Why? Well, the reason is I don't have the money right now. But money is a tool. Because in that moment, you're giving your power away to money. You're saying, I can't. Money determines what I get to be, do, or have. But no, you determine it because you can get the money. So what have you been giving your power away to? And what is the excuse that you're giving? Because I know it's a valid excuse, but at the end of the day, it's still an excuse. And unless you decide that I'm going to stop seeing all of these excuses as valid reasons, and I'm going to take my power away from all of these things that I've given it to, my past, I've been through so much, I can't do it. My this, well, that's good. But there's so much more available for you. You just need to allow yourself to expand and experience it. And it's the same for you if you've attained some level of success, but you've gotten to that place where you feel like you want more. You are able to do more. You know you can have more. You know you can create more. But it's just like, look at the things happening around you. You are a creative being. And as a creative being, we don't look at the circumstances. We go within and we transform the circumstances, because anything on the outside of you that is a circumstance is neutral. It doesn't have meaning until you give meaning to it with your thought and with your perception. I have been in the same Africa, in the same Cameroon, that most of you are complaining the government is this, the government is that, and I have done what I did. It's not that I found myself in a different circumstance. It's that I decided to interpret it differently. That's the power of perception. So how are you perceiving what you're going through? How are you perceiving the circumstance? How are you perceiving the challenges? Because that's what is going to determine if you are actually going to come out on the other side of it more strong, more powerful, and winning, and becoming limitless and achieving at the highest level of your potential, or you're just going to be mediocre. So that is the first thing. You have to take back your power. The second thing is that you have to realize that you are a creator. You are a creative being. And when I say you are a creator, I mean like you are really like a creator like God. Everything that exists on this plane of life was created by you and I and other humans. And because we are a creator, it means that we manifest our reality. We create everything into existence. And here's the thing: there's not in the quantum field, in the spiritual realm, there's nothing that really is being created. Everything is already. Everything already exists. All possibilities exist. This is the realm of infinite possibilities. The realm of you can be anything. You can decide and be a millionaire in the spiritual realm. It already exists. God is no longer in the business of creation. He's resting. Everything is already exists. You just get to decide what you are available for, and you go into the quantum field, you take it and you bring it and you manifest it into this plane of life. So there's nothing that is like you are a victim. If you're experiencing pain, you manifested that. If you're experiencing struggle in your business right now, you have manifested that. And because you have manifested that, you can manifest a new reality. So it's like that, whatever that thing that you desire, you want to manifest, maybe joy, more joy, maybe a higher salary. It already exists right now in the quantum field. And some people actually already have access to it. So that is evidence for you that it exists. If you are desiring $10,000, there's somebody that is making that like in 1 second right now. But until you become a match and decide that this possibility is available for me as well, the how will never show up. Because one of the biggest things that limits people in manifesting their dream life is really like, oh, but how am I going to do it? First of all, you're not even open for it. If you can't even embody it and entertain it and believe that it's possible for you and that is available for you, the how will not show up. And here's what I'm going to say. When you become a match for it, the how shows up. The how is never the problem. The how you're going to achieve your goal is never the problem. It's always, are you even a match for it? Can you hold that goal if it comes? Do you have the container? Are you expanded enough to hold that next level of success you're asking for? Because we ask for things to manifest things, but we are not able to hold it. So it's like it comes and you're like, no, that's too much for me. And then we sabotage. So you can create it right now. And here's the thing. There's nothing that is going to save you. Like I said, God is no longer in the business of creation. God already created and he's resting. And if you are like Christian in any way, go read creation story. Everything exists. And even in quantum physics, which is one of my favorite things, every potential, every possibility exists. As it exists as long as you can focus on it. When you pay your attention to it, that thing become. So in the quantum field, you can literally be anything that you desire. You can manifest anything that you desire. As long as you can bring your attention to it, you're going to create it and bring it into existence. So it's not about that there's no abundance. It's not the availability or lack of money. It's about who you are. It's about what you're allowing in your life. It's about what you are allowing. You are literally saying you are available for. But when you know you are available for more and you decide that you're not going to settle for less, the more is going to come. And the how is going to come to you. But the how won't come if you're not yet open for it. So forget about it. If there was no limit, if you believe that there was no limit, if you believe that there was nothing stopping you, if you literally believe that your skin size, your skin color, where you come from, your background, your trauma, your pain, if you actually believe that all of that was not something to stop you, what would you be? What would you be doing with your life? What would you create in this lifetime? Because that's the realm we want to play in. What will you create? What will you ask for? How much pay will you ask for? What job position would you take? What next level company are you going to create? If you believe that you can actually really do it, because you can, what will you be a match for? So that is the second principle. Realizing that you are a creator. And as a creator, everything already exists. You simply take from that which already exists and you bring it forth into this plane of life. The third principle and the third thing is that is inner work. You really get to do the power of inner work. So what is inner work? It is the process of deconditioning, deprogramming, and reprogramming yourself. And then transcending that limited identity that you currently hold as a whole and embodying who you truly are as the infinite divine being that you are. So literally, in a sense, it's the process of like peeling an onion. Because here's the thing. The reason why you believe that there are some things that you can do, maybe you can't make 10K in the next 24 hours in your business, or nobody can just pay you $1 million to work with you right now. The reason why you believe that is because you were conditioned to believe that. Because when you came into this world as a little baby, right, you were pure consciousness, you were blank. There's nothing that you knew. But as you grew up, your environment conditioned you. You were conditioned through the things you saw, through the things you heard, and all that. And then you were also conditioned through your trauma, the experiences you had. Those negative, high emotional experiences that you had went directly into your subconscious mind and they programmed you. So the inner work is literally the process of not reprogramming your identity, changing your identity, transcending that limited identity that you hold, that identity that you were told that this is what you can do, this is what you can do because you are this is what you are. Because you are black, this is what you can or you have access to. Because you are this is that. Because you come from here, this is that. Because you've experienced it, it means this. It's literally deconditioning and then really birthing your own truth and deciding the identity that you actually get to be, which is the divine identity. And that divine identity is the version of you that is limitless. It is the limitless you. And what happens when you embody this limited identity, again, is that it's not a state. It's not like you just start thinking positive or thinking good. This is not mindset. This is identity shifting. Because what you want to understand is that the mind is divided into the conscious and the subconscious mind. And when most people are like mindset, they are talking about reprogramming the beliefs that they think that they believe, what they know, they know. But identity shifting is about changing who you are as a whole. Changing your state of being, changing your identity. And not just changing, but transcending, moving above that limited identity. For example, for me, I had to transcend the identity of this little girl who was born in a tiny, poor African village, who is a single mom, who is a victim, who was abused, and all of that. That is my factual identity. Can be proven in the court of law. But does that mean that is my real identity? No. And I get to decide the identity I want to embody. And from that identity, you get to manifest and create with ease. In the most effortless way. So it doesn't mean without effort, but it means with least resistance and less effort. So again, what is it that you desire to create? Because we are going to make it happen on this show. We are going to get you to get unstuck, to unlock your next level, and to be all that you can be in this lifetime and unlock all your potential. There's no more mediocrity, no more playing small. And I'm going to keep bringing you conversations from my own journey and other people who have actually defied the odds, who are actually blazing the trail, and who are living their version of the rich and complete life. So my question that I'm going to leave with you today is, if you believe that you were limitless, if you believe that your skin color doesn't define what you can be, your hairstyle doesn't define your gender. If you believed that where you came from, the language barrier, English is my second language, right? Whatever it is, cannot stop you, who will you be? Who would you be? Because you can't have if you've not become. So I want you to ask, who would I be? And spend some time journaling on that. Just journal, who will I be if I didn't believe that I was being stopped by this, 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 this? If I wasn't giving myself all of these limitations, who will I be? And then the second thing is, what is my version of a dream life? What is my version of the rich and complete life? And again, the rich and complete life is not about what it looks like. It's about who you become in it. It's about your embodiment. It's about your identity. So thank you so much for watching today's episode. I'm so glad that you stay tuned, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. And now let me know in the comment, let me know in the chats if you have any questions or any things you would like me to share about or to do video about. Just write in the chat. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments, and see you in the next one. I can't wait to bring you all the beautiful conversation and guesses.